Hello, and welcome back to my Super Mario Odyssey 2-player any percent speedrun guide. If you haven't seen my cap and cascade videos yet, I recommend watching those first. When you're in the Odyssey, you need to mash only B and not A and B. That way you can skip the action guide as quickly as possible. Make sure to skip the cutscenes extra fast, as you're on a cycle to catch the bird. When Cappy gives you text, mash through it. Begin a spin pound rush roll, then go down the hill with no boosts, then go back up the hill, and roll over to the snud. Throw it in the pot, backflip, capture dive towards the whirling with the sheet on it, wall jump, and cap throw dive forwards. Then you'll need to get the bird. Make sure to jump into it and cap throw dive and ground pound to stop your momentum, or else you'll fall down and have to jump back up to grab him. Then cap throw dive onto this part of the building, and then jump and dive into the moon. Then dive towards the pipe and roll in. Once you're in the sub area, jump, cap throw dive up and slightly right, then spin pound and ground pound once you're in midair to grab the moon. You're supposed to be hitting about this area-ish to grab the moon, but it's not an exact science. Well, it is, but it doesn't feel like it. Then dive towards the pipe and roll in. Then once you're out of the pipe, you need to hold an angle that's about right-ish on your joystick and cap dive over the railing to hit the newly grown seed. Okay, so right now you're probably thinking, why did a seed just grow? Doesn't it take 20 minutes for those seeds to grow? Yes, normally it takes 20 minutes for one of those seeds to grow. However, it only goes by the Nintendo Switch's clock, which we can manually change. And there's this thing called daylight savings time. So before the run, speedrunners set their clocks to a specific time to where while they're in the sub area collecting that moon right there, the daylight savings time hits and the seed says, oh, it must have been an hour since I was planted. Better grow a moon. This strat is called daylight savings time abuse. If you want to learn more about it, Dangers has a outdated but still really good video on it. I'll link it in the description. Definitely watch that after this to help your Sand Kingdom get better. But anyways, once you grab the sea moon, do a dive to jump over the gate and spin pound into the walkway that leads into the back of the shop. Intentionally bonk on the wall. I promise it's fast. It's the only, one of the very few spots in the game where you actually want to bonk on the wall. And then roll straight into the back of the shop. The minute that Mario opens the door, come bursting out of it and spin pound directly to the right to grab the moon. Then after the moon cutscene, spin pound to the left and roll cancel into the door. It's faster to roll cancel here. Once you're outside of the door, turn your camera to face the hill and spin pound. Then just shake like you're having a seizure until you reach this hill. Make sure to use your joystick to kind of fight the sloped angle of this other one, because it will push you into those cacti if you're not careful. Then roll all the way up to the top of the hill, up throw roll cancel and ground pound to get the moon. As to where exactly on the hill the moon is, it's kind of difficult to tell without just having it built into muscle memory. The slow indicator is to look for where the most rumble in your controller is, but sometimes we don't have time for that because it's slow to, go based on rumble. So I'd say just memorize this spot. As you're spin pounding up the hill, you can use the right joystick to turn your camera to face away from where you are going to want to be going. So that way, once you finish watching the moon cutscene, you can dive and you don't have to do a cap throw to reorient yourself, which saves about half a second. Just use a bumper button instead. Then dive, let Mario fall down the hill, but keep holding ZR. And then once you reach the bottom of the hill, roll to the left or to the right of this cactus, it doesn't really matter. And you're aiming for the straightest line towards this icicle as you possibly can. Then once you reach the top of this hill, roll boost one last time, 2-player jump, 2-player jump, dive onto the icicle, side flip off of it, neutral bounce forwards, dive, jump, dive, and roll into the moon. Then once you finish the moon cutscene, spin pound to the left, roll and avoid these Goombas. It's completely RNG, you have no control over it, and 2-player jump, and dive over this archway thing, and jump, dive, jump, turn the corner, dive, jump, and dive into the moon. Then once you have the moon, dive, jump, dive, turn the corner, again, jump, 2-player jump, cap stall on this icicle, wall jump off of it, cap throw dive there, and then the fastest way to get up this side of the wall is to do a spin jump, not a spin pound jump, but an actual spin jump. But I didn't get that when I was recording footage, so whatever. Then cap stall on the wall jump, up throw or do a regular cap throw, and dive, then jump, dive on top of this box and spin pound it. Then buffer a spin spin pound up, jump off the platform, 2-player jump. You're heading for the higher ground here, then turn left, go onto the lower ground, and grab the moon. Then spin pound, 2-player jump, kept throw dive forwards, dive onto the platform, and if the bullet bill's already been thrown, then spin throw at it. If not, then just throw Cappy out. Once you captured the bullet bill, hold down Y, shake your controller while you're holding down Y, then let go of Y and just continually shake. This is the fastest way to move with the bullet bill. Then shake all the way to this pillar. Then once you're about to bonk into it, do not bonk into it because then Mario will fall. Instead, uncapture it and dive into the moon. Now, this guide series is showcasing what movement I usually do. The normal strat here is to spin pound off this pillar and go and collect this moon with the bullet bill, and then make your way to this Jaxi thing with what's called Jaxi skip. However, there's another strat called reverse Jaxi skip that I find easier. I am probably the only person on this planet who finds it easier, but I'm just going to showcase that. To actually do reverse Jaxi skip, buffer spin pound while you're in the moon cutscene and spin pound to the right. Keep holding ZR as you fall through the air, and roll boost until you're about here-ish. Then you can either continue rolling a few more times and 2-player jump twice to get up onto this, or you can do a roll cancel and a triple jump. 2-player jump out towards the camera, holding your joystick back. 2-player jump again, neutrally, and then dive up onto the Jaxi platform. Then once you're up, spin throw left to hit the moon chest, then throw out Cappy to the right, and shake to home in as you're jumping into the moon. Then spin pound off the left edge of this chest. Try not to dive here, but if you're gonna die, then obviously, it's better to do that than to die. Roll boost a couple times, then 2-player jump, dive, 2-player jump neutrally, and dive up onto this platform. What I did here was 2-player jump, 2-player jump, wall jump off the wall, and then dive forwards, which is a little slower, but it still works. Then spin pound up leftish, roll boost twice, spin pound jump up, cap throw dive farther up right, and then the bullet bill should hit the crate. If it doesn't, then you can capture one and bring it to hit the crate. But assuming that everything went well, wall jump off the wall and cap throw dive into the moon. You can also throw at Cappy to collect a few coins here if you're worried about not having enough coins for wood. Then dive down right and roll to this cactus right here. Then once you're close, jump and spin throw to capture it. Then move it down, uncapture, and ground pound the spot where it was to grab a moon. Going up with the cactus is faster, but it has a weird hitbox and it's difficult. Don't do that. Then dive up, roll up the hill. Make sure that while you're rolling up the hill, you do the natural push of the hill with your joystick, and spin pound the hill, the tiny hill right here. Then ground pound to grab the moon and turn the camera to face straight at Mario. Then dive, use a bumper button, roll boost once or twice, 2-player jump, dive into the tree, spin throw to collect the notes, long jump to collect the other notes, and jump and ground pound to collect the moon. Then once the moon cutscene's over, fall to the ground, and open up your map and teleport to the Odyssey. Then throw Cappy at the Odyssey, and you're done. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, bye.